Because Asia Minor is actually peninsula.
So Jake be all up in there, man.
So what do you think happened to all them Jakes when you read about the churches in Asia?
Right.
So when you go into the book of Revelations, all those 7 churches was in modern day Turkey.
Yeah,
now for some of you guys, y'all would just think that they just disappeared off the planet.
Man, you can't think like that, man.
You would meet someone that, I'll give you an example. Those who were called Antilochian Greeks in the early part of the 20th century before the Ottoman Empire fell in World War I. Now I'll give you an example because we're going into tribes and the scattering of the tribes, right? Now those Greeks that were there ruling in the Byzantine Empire, in Asia Minor, and modern day Greece and Macedonia, those are Israelites. Now peep this out. You got the guy from Full House. John Stamos.
Oh yeah.
Uncle Jesse, as he's known, right?
Uncle Jesse, yep.
Now
look like
now that dude right there could be a straight up Israelite. Straight up. I mean, when he was acting on that show, he had that flavor. He had the most flavor on that whole show. Just come through swagged out. Right.
That's right.
Now, if he walked by and he's like, "Hey, my parents is from Greece. You guys, some of you guys call him straight up Edomite," not understanding that one, his family. See, when the Ottoman Empire took over Asia Minor and Greece, when the fall of the Byzantine Empire happened, those people decided. Many of those people didn't even convert over to Islam because they were staunchly so-called Christians. Because of for a millennium, they ruled. So you ain't gonna make them convert overnight. So those people were oppressed in Turkey and in different parts of the Asia Greek islands, like Cyprus, because they took over Cyprus and places like that. Now, those people are known as Antilochian Greeks. I give you another example of a guy, right? Even though, see, we know our people are coming all. Listen, Jake is under all kinds of different conditions. Thinking about guys that Luther Vandross, things like that. That don't mean he's not Israel.
Right.
I'm just giving you a prime example. George Michael. George Michael was the first so-called white man to have a #1 hit on the R&B chart. Now, how do we know that he was really just a so-called white boy? When his father is an Antilochian Greek, which would be the people that were the descendants of the Byzantine Empire.
And that was Jake. That was our Jake right there.
And everybody knows George Michael had the voice, bro. He's a so-called. He gets it in with men. We know about that old stuff. What about Tevin Campbell? We can go. This goes on and on about talented Jakes is doing whatever.
Doing all kind of wickedness,
But think about it, bro. When he dropped, we're not saying he's Israel. We don't have a proof of it.
Right.
But when he dropped things like the Careless Whisper. You telling me Jake wasn't listening to Wham! Careless Whisper?
Man, hey man,
come on, bro.
Hey man.
The boy went, come on.
Man, brother, hey man. That simple fact is, man, Jake is hey man, you just can't look at a person and just tell, man.
You can't do it.
You can't, man. You gotta go.
And when you go into the history, for a lot of guys that don't want to go into the history, that want to believe but want to judge by carnal but not spiritual, you would have to then tell us that those people that were in those lands disappeared. That's the only way you can say it. Because either they got descendants and they're still in the land or they disappeared.
But then you got to prove that. How do you prove that? You can't prove it, man. Because Jake ain't just going to be like, okay, everybody, let's just roll. We out.
And don't let no DNA test fool you.
Oh, man.
That's the science falsely so-called. DNA test is one of the worst things that anybody can take, bro. That stuff is not going to prove if you're Israel or not.
It's
just not. It's just not, man. It's just the only that is going to do it is the Most High, and and on this side, as far as the Gospels, it's going to be done by faith.
It's going to be done by faith.
But we got to give brothers a history lesson to the fact that our people were scattered everywhere, man. But you got Jake that will sit there and tell you that we ruled in Europe in the Middle Ages, but then all of a sudden, all the hundreds of millions probably of Jake that was in Europe just disappeared.
Just left, man.
Or their descendants don't matter no more because they're heathen now because they turned and looked like the other nations where they were scattered.
Even our Bible, man, the Bible that was written by King James, man, a black Scottishman, man, black man from Scotland, man. This man is ruling Scotland. You don't think, man, all those people that was underneath him, man, he was the only black in that country.
Come on, they think he's probably the only one. That's how they look at it.
Man, come on,
All
man.
people multiplied for a whole millennium before they went taken down by Satan, by Esau.
Man.
So you know we was in abundance, man. We wasn't doing this stuff like how they got limitations on marriage, how many wives, the age you can marry. That stuff, Jake wasn't doing that stuff. That's Esau's stuff, man.
Yeah, that's Esau's
That's
doing.
Esau's doing to control Jake from exploding.
Yep, that's right. That's right, man. Cause man, our people all over the place, man.
Yeah.
Your brothers really need to go into them medieval periods, man. Start studying, and then you'll realize, man, that your theory is flawed.
Yeah, and we'll do the medieval. You know, we'll do the medieval.
Yeah, do that medieval.
The medieval history of the Israelites, the medieval empire of the Israelites.
Oh man,
we got to do that piece.
We got a lot, man.
We got to do that piece, and that's a book that is not allowed. It's like one of the most expensive books you can get on Israel. Yeah. If not the most expensive.
Right.
Because the guy was a researcher, I think he's from Russia. He did research and found out that Israel was ruling all around the world in the Middle Ages.
All around the world, man. He's looking at the Peruvians, showing all. Man, the dude showed everything,
Siberia,
man.
everywhere.
Siberia, all over the place, man. This dude did some research, man.
Yeah.
That's a good book, man.
Yeah, that's why that book is like $1,000 or so plus dollars, even probably more by now.
Yeah, you had to get it on the early coming ins, man. It was kind of expensive on the early coming ins, too, man. Yeah, you had to pay a little cheese for that.
Yeah, so our people were scattered everywhere. We weren't just ruling in Africa. We weren't just ruling in Greece or Asia or Europe. We were ruling everywhere. When the Most High gave that 1,000-year rule, He gave it to us all over the world.
Yeah.
It was part of the prophecy. And then we were to the fall down, and then get it back again the right way.
And just on a side note, like for one instance, I was really studying into the Scott. That I brought up the King James, but I studied the Scottish aspect of it. And what you'll find in that Scottish aspect is that when Oliver Cromwell came into play, he basically brought in individuals who are more like mercenaries, and told them to go in and take those lands from those Scottish people. But he didn't have the finances to give to these people. What he told them, whoever you take out, you can have their lands. And so they went throughout of Scotland and just started decimating Jake, man.
Yeah.
And then you see later on that Jake took ships over here to the Americas, man, to the colonies back during that time, man. Yeah. So you got a lot of people around this southern part of the United States that carry Scottish last names, man. And most people just perceive, they say, oh, well, that was because of their slave masters. And that's not always the case in that situation.
Yeah. It's not always the case. Like you said. So we can go ahead and get into that Genesis 49.
Yeah.
Because we established the scattering at least outside of the land of America.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Which it's out about this. He's saying guys that will go into the fact that those people are not the northern tribes that came over here. They cannot. You have to, by faith, believe that the Southern Kingdom even fled as far as West Africa.
Right.
Because you don't really even got full documentation on that. You just believe that because of the prophecies.
Right.
You get where I'm coming from.
Right.
There's no documentation that says a group of people documented their trail of traveling all the way down to the west coast of Africa.
That's right. It's all prophetic here.
It's all faith. It's all prophecy.
Because without the scriptures, we wouldn't have any clue, right?
Yeah, that's why we had to establish the prophecy in 2nd Esdras about the 10 tribes. It was prophecy that he was going to link up with them. Now, the odd thing about it is I told the guy on the comment board, I said, go and do a search on Instagram and type in tribe of Issachar, or Issachar, like hashtags.
Yeah.
Why don't you see a whole bunch of so-called woolly-haired Negroes saying that they're Issachar? If Issachar is in Africa, why aren't they claiming, why aren't those people that you say that they are not claiming that identity? They say the tribe of Gad is the Zulus. Now, we're not saying that there's not Israelites among the Zulus, but how come there's not a whole bunch of them saying that they're the tribe of Gad?
Right.
Not even a handful. But you're saying they're doing lessons, because see, when you watch these different videos against the northern tribes here, some of you brothers got to watch this stuff.
Yep.
They go into these different things where they'll try and say that this tribe is that tribe or that tribe, but they won't do the whole one. They don't come with their own 12 tribes chart.
Yeah.
But they'll try and start making little references to different people in Africa, which that's okay. But why are you now trying to do that and then come against the chart if you're not making your full complete one?
Yep.
So go to Genesis 49.
This is Genesis 49. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Wait, in the last days.
The last days.
So, when you got guys that are telling you, well, look, Yahawashi and the disciples, they didn't have a 12 tribe chart. They weren't preaching that. Well, one, the basis of our is not to push the chart and identity of the people.
Right.
Our thing is to push the gospel. The importance of us identifying that the northern tribes came over here is for the prophecy's sake.
Yeah.
Because it was written.
Mm-hmm.
It was written about it.
Right.
Period.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You believe that this is Babylon, but you believe that by faith.
Right.
You got guys, you get my point from, bro.
That's true.
What's wrong with Jake, bro?
It is true. That's true, man.
Come on, man.
And you gonna go in there, where you gonna find something written down saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, this America, but you know, yeah, this Babylon. Where's the writing on that, man?
Yeah, you believe that America's Babylon by faith.
It's everything. This book is faith, man.
Come on, man.
This book is based upon faith, man.
But then, you know, it's crazy, y'all. Go ahead, y'all.
Verse 2, gather yourselves together and hear ye, sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. Verse 6, O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly. Mine honor be not thou united.
Now check this out, Op. This is what I say in regards to Genesis 49. And this is the argument. A lot of people talk about Genesis 49, and when you go into the different tribes, when you go into the precepts, and then there's other precepts outside of it as well. Now, peep this, Op. They saying that we can't break down Genesis 49. So why in the world would it be there for no man on the planet Earth to be able to interpret or break down? Now get me Revelation chapter 5. Start at the top.
Revelations.
No, in fact, before that, get me Isaiah 28. You can read the precept upon precept. Go
Okay,
that first.
this is
we're going to establish that too.
This is Isaiah 28 and 10. I'll start at 9.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 9.
Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
Yeah, so you got to be past the point of the basics, right?
That's right. That's
you
right.
got to be drawn from the breast. You know, you got to have gotten over and passed through the basics to get to the point of understanding where you can now be able to say, you know what?